Hello, Eagles. How is everybody doing? It's Mother Eagle here. We are live. Happy Saturday to everybody. Welcome to all those who are joining us for the first time. My name is Mother Eagle, aka Keroy King, and we do have lifethenfinance.com and we do have mothereagle.net. Those are all personal development platforms where we get to help you and support you on your personal development journey. Today we are going to do something exciting and we are going to talk about habits. And what reminded me of the topic of habits was a video I did during the week about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Then, of course, the question always raises up habits. And I remember many years ago when I had to face my own bad habits and I had to change them. Welcome everybody. Feel free to tell us where you're from. Leave the info in the information in the comments, and feel free to ask questions as we go along. So I'll be able to answer the questions. And for those who find this video at a later date, you're always welcome. Leave your questions below. I always go and look through and get an opportunity to answer. Let's get started. These are my study notes from the book The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Charles Duhigg. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's D-U-I-G. Yeah. So I'll just share what I learned and some of the principles I used from this book because it was a very important part of helping me transform. Hi, welcome. Of helping me transform. And we'll start. Hey, hi, Christina. How are you? We are talking about the power of habits. So one of the things that excited me from this book was there was a story in there whereby it was a couple and the gentleman got some kind of mental problem whereby he couldn't function well, but he could his memory was down, but his body could remember routines. If he woke up in the morning, I think in the book it was something like he would make his own eggs, take his walk, even though his memory had gone, his mental memory. The routine somehow was ingrained in his other parts of the body that he could remember. And this was a science experiment because they followed the guy around for so long. So when we are talking about these habits, they really get ingrained not only in our mental, but in our body. So you're trying to change something, yet it's more complex than just your thoughts. It involves your entire body structure, emotions, environment, triggers from smells. All your five senses are engaged in these habits. So the question is now, what is a habit? Habits are recurring and often unconscious patterns of behavior. And because they are unconscious, they are things that we frequently repeat. They are just there. Supposing you wonder why every morning, I know for me, I'm guilty. I pass by this coffee shop every morning and stop. Even when I have coffee at home, even when I've made some coffee at home, And I'm thinking, you have to stop that habit. It's not a good habit. Why do you keep doing it? Well, it's bigger than that. I'm still trying to figure out how to stop the habit, because it's not necessary. So, in the power of habits, we have. He talked about how habits work. Habits work in a loop. So you start off with a clue, then a routine is built, then there is a reward. So there is a loop. So what is that cue? What is that trigger that makes you makes you stick to it until it becomes a routine, and then there is a reward at the end? Whether it's a good habit or a bad habit, there is always a reward. Supposing maybe if you're struggling with smoking, you may think, oh my God, smoking is I want to stop. But you may be having a reward, maybe that social interaction you get when you're with your friends and you're smoking. Maybe that high you get from the nicotine, that's a reward. So even if you don't want it, then now you have to figure out what are those cues that set you off to go and start smoking. It may be maybe your lunch break. It may be every time you go to that social gathering with those friends of yours. Naturally, as soon as you get there, everyone pulls out a smoke. So that's your cue. I know I have this habit. Every time I get in the car, for years, I've always made the car my area of meditation. I don't put on any music. It's like my thinking time. So every time I get in the car, automatically my thinking cap comes on, and I start getting creative thoughts in the car, even if the drive is short. It's like driving and sitting in the car is my cue to go into my thinking zone, or my meditative zone. It's one of those things. I didn't realize I had created that environment as a cue, but it is. And what's the routine I've created? It's my thinking time, so I get creative ideas. Maybe that's why some of my videos are when I'm in the car. It's because I'm actually getting creative ideas while driving. Then also, what's the reward? Of course, the reward or the high you get when you get a new insight, aha moment, helps the loop continue on, because the loop will not stop. Welcome everybody who has just joined us. Tell us where you're from. Feel free to leave comments, questions. I'll get to them at some point. Yeah, so the way habits work: 1, there's a cue; 2, there's a routine; and 3, there's a reward. So now the thing is, how can we create new habits? Because that's the whole point. We want to get rid of the ones that don't work, and we want to replace and we want to create new ones. First, you have to identify the habit that you want to get rid of. I think that's a given, right? You have to really be close in terms of identification. Write these things down, because you want to identify what cues are happening to take you into that habit. What routines have you created that are revolving around that habit, and what rewards are you getting? For example, there are things whereby maybe you're at your job, and every hour also you get up to get coffee. It's not because you're hungry, but maybe it's because you're bored. And then in that coffee you're putting a lot of creamer, a lot of sugar. You're on a diet, you don't want to do that. So what do? If your reward is maybe the boredom, if you took a walk and replaced the coffee taking with a walk, it would satisfy the same craving. because that's the beauty of the rewards. The rewards are there to satisfy this craving. So if you can get a different habit that you can put in place, a different routine to satisfy your reward, it does change, because this is not something you'll just talk about or say, oh, I won't go back to that coffee shop. That won't work. No. You have to replace either your cues or replace the reward. Or figure out the reward you're getting and replace the routine so that you get the same reward. Hi, Rita. Thank you for joining. Leave your questions and comments below. Yeah, so moving on, how we create a new habit. First, identify the routine and figure out what you would like to change. Then experiment with rewards, because sometimes we don't know why we are doing certain things. It may be something emotional. It may be something tangible. It may be just a feel good reward, or maybe social interaction. Who knows? When it comes to the cues, it can be time. Every time it comes around to 3 o'clock, you feel like you need a sugar high, and you've trained yourself that way, and it becomes a cue, So that cue of getting the sugar high, then from there you go looking around for a cookie or a coffee. Then what's the reward? You feel good. So then the next one will be, once you isolate the cue, which could be anything, you need to have a plan. So how are you going to go about changing this actual habit that you've picked? For example, let's pick a bad habit. Oh yes, I have a good one. So this works good and bad. Me personally, every time I do my green smoothie in the morning, I set off a cue of having a healthy day all day, because when I make the green smoothie, I usually make 2 bottles, meaning I'll have more to drink through the day, meaning I'll be satisfied through the day, so I'll make healthier choices. The problem is, if I don't have enough ingredients to do the green smoothie and I opt for coffee, that's where things begin. Because when you get a coffee, you need to get a donut, right? When you get the donut, you're having empty calories. So by 9 o'clock, I'm already scrambling, looking for something else. So the day keeps going on that way, because I've set cues that are not going the right way. But then if I want to replace all that and remove all that, if I just stay with my cue of the green smoothie, all of a sudden the day is going on well. I'm eating the right things. I'm doing the right things. For example, they in this book, The Power of Habits by Charles, he talks about things called keystone habits. Keystone habits are these, oh my God, I love this concept so much because it made so much sense. Are these habits, they are like cornerstones. They are like your success habits that will create a ripple effect and make the ball rolling. So that is awesome. For example, people who exercise, they tend to create other healthy habits in other areas. Not only that, they have more energy to do other extra things. I remember in that book he mentioned something about, I don't think it was in the book, maybe I saw the story in an article, whereby they asked a millionaire what is his biggest habit that he has to do every day without fail. And he said, making his bed. I'm thinking, what? That is easy. We can all make our beds every morning. but are you making your bed every morning with diligence? Why? Because the small wins and starting off with something that is a success, that is a win, does something to your brain whereby you can go on with building good progressive success habits as you're going along, just from a small thing like making your bed, because it's a cornerstone, it's a keystone habit. So one of the things that were in the keystone habits were exercise, for example, eating dinner as a family. You know, the whole family gets together and eats dinner. It was said that they raised better children. Why? There is a confidence that was instilled in the children just by eating dinner. That is a keystone habit. So it was amazing just to get an understanding of things of this nature, because what you can do is find keystone habits in your life. What is that one habit that will create a proper routine through the day? You know, that will be a cue, because you know the reward at the end of the day. You will enjoy a better life when you pick the right habits. For example, if you get up in the morning, you know, at a decent time, you're not late, right? You're early, everything is on time, you're 15 minutes early to every appointment. Guess what? You'll be calm, you'll be organized. If you find traffic, you won't be falling off because there is traffic, just because of that order, just because of that key habit that you've picked up. But then if you turn it the other way around, if you're late, right? If you're late, then everything you're doing is late, you're rushing, then you get pissed off because you're rushing everybody and they are not as quick as you were. So you create this ripple effect that wasn't even necessary. So let's keep in mind keystone habits. Also, let's keep in mind doing small things to help us win. That also helps. Every time you accomplish something, however small, if you tell yourself, okay, today I'm going to read 2 pages of a good book and I'll take some notes, that's a win if you actually do it, because every win builds on each other. It's not a loss, you know. He also talked about willpower. Willpower is awesome because it helps with habit and it grows. For example, if you're on a treadmill, I don't know, you guys, when you're exercising, oh my God, when you're on a treadmill and you feel bored and you know you have only 10 minutes to go, you know, you've been on that thing walking for maybe 20, but you set it for 30. So the last 10 minutes, that's when you're having that conversation in your head. Should I get off? I feel tired. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But if you stay and you complete those 10 minutes, you've just built your willpower. You've just strengthened yourself. So tomorrow it will be easier. That's why it's always encouraged for young children to enroll them in piano lessons, football, soccer, any of those things, because they develop these little habits of going the extra mile, just a little bit longer. So when you find them as adults, it will be easy for them to naturally get up and get things done. Get up and get things done. Because most of us, you know, it's a struggle to do anything. Let's see, how are we doing with time? Everybody okay? Welcome, guys. Welcome. Many of our online courses are on motherego.net, so feel free to visit there. And if you have any questions, post them down here. And let's see. Let's continue on. Yeah, I think I'll try to summarize. Thanks for this is Rita writing. We look at something as though they don't matter, yet they do. Everyone has at least. Oh, yes, yes, Rita, that is true. That is true. And that's the thing. It's in these small things that we underestimate, but they are cues that set us off to do either the good things or the bad things. Because the interesting thing about cues, it can even be a smell. Supposing, have you ever gone by like a restaurant where they have barbecue and you smell the barbecue? All of a sudden you're looking for anything barbecue. Even if that wasn't part of the plan. Why? It set off a cue. Yeah, so yes, those small things matter. And in order to build success habits, we have to be very observant when it comes to all those small cues so that you can design your life in a way that is winning for you. So, because these things go the opposite way also. If you're building habits that you don't want, that's not the point. You want the habits that you want, that you can build on and grow from. So just in summary, one, habits work in a loop. So we have the cue, we have the routine, and the reward. And how to change the habits? First, you're going to identify what you want to change. You want to identify the routine, experiment with the rewards, because the rewards will be anything, whether it makes you feel good, it's emotional, whatever the reward is. Then you have to isolate the cues to know which cue makes you do what thing, Then lastly, to have a plan so that you're very intentional, so that you know that, okay, this cue will lead me to this routine, will lead me to this reward. Then you find areas where you can change. Lastly, find the keystone habits and work around them, because the keystone habits will create that ripple effect that you want. Imagine in a day, if you have 1 or 2 keystone habits, that will make life really easier, knowing that if you get up, have your smoothie, take a walk, that may put your day in the right, and put your mind in the right frame of mind, giving you the rewards you want, giving you the routines that you like, So I guess that's it for habits. And if you have any additional questions, well, feel free to leave them below and I'll answer them. I'll be online maybe for the next 5-10 minutes. And otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. Rita, thank you for your question. Christina, thank you for staying on and watching the whole time. Oh, I love you guys. Well, have a good weekend. I'm going to go and start my weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Visit mothereagle.net as always. Bye.